أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني ويفقهوا قولي. Ya Allah, make this gathering beneficial for us in this world and hereafter, inshallah. So, I welcome you all to the next session of reflecting on 99 names of Allah. And today we will be covering more on Malik al Mulk. Um, so, let me just make sure that you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, Bismillah. So, so the last time I'm going to start with a recap because we've covered like this the introduction and a little bit on the three names of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala last week, and it was Al Malik, Al Malik, and Al Malik Al Mulk. So, inshallah, today we will start by covering a little bit on putting more light on Al Malik, Al Malik, and then inshallah we will cover Al Malik Al Mulk. So, so basically, Al Malik, Al Al Malik is a possessor. Al Malik is someone who possesses things, who is the owner. And then Al Malik is someone is the old possessor. Al Malik is the king, and Malik Al Mulk is the possessor of sovereignty. So how are we going to differentiate these names? We're going to take one example, inshallah. So Al Malik. Let's take an example of owning a land. Okay, when you own a land, you might be called a owner. Yeah, you might be called a owner, but will you be told that you are a king of that land?
No.
No. Why are you not called the king of that land?
Um, because we just own a small part and it serves only us.
Hmm. Okay, so sometimes we might own a land, but we will not be allowed to build. Just because of that land, we can go or do whatever we want with that. Yes or no?
Yeah, we can't.
We can't because that particular land is a area of one big country or something, and you have to abide to that laws. You even though you have that land, you can't go against the rules that are set for that particular place. Even though you possess, you might not have that power to own it completely. Am I making it clear?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. Okay. And then this is a possessor basically, and we are going through English terms. Okay, what is a possessor? I'm just trying to explain what a possessor is. Okay, Al Malik is someone who possesses. You might possess. First, let's take an example of you possessing a land, and you still not be able to do things that you want to do with that particular land. But when it comes to the king, the word king, when you say king, a king owns the whole country. But can that king come to that particular land that you own and say that this is mine?
As a king, he can claim it.
No, he can't because you might okay, leave about the land. If you own a necklace, say a car or something, okay, and you own it, it is your hard-earned money. Can the king come and tell you that that is my car?
No,
No,
that's
you're going
personal
to,
possession.
yes, yes, that is my personal belonging. I put everything into it. I, it is my hard-earned money. You're gonna say it's my hard work. I earned this money with so much difficulty that this belongs to me. But you might own a car, but will you say I'm the king of this car or I'm king
No,
of all the cars?
no.
No, right? See, Al Malik means Allah is the possessor of something. Al Malik means he is not just the possessor, he's also the king of all the things.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik al Mulk is it means he's not just the possessor and the king, he is the possessor of sovereignty. He has the power over everything. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so just by covering that, Bismillah, let's go and continue from what we were about to continue last time. So Allah is the ultimate possessor and the king. He is the ultimate possessor. Or sometimes we might think Allah, we possess our body. What do we say? This is my body. This is my body. This is my choice. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to take care of my house. But all these blessings are from Allah. When we really understand who Allah is and He is the ultimate owner, we should think of this popular things, very normal things we say that I am the owner of this house. The arrogance which we get, the pride that we get from within, which is just not making us humble, which is making us among the arrogant, which is making us among people who are not grateful, but people who are full of pride. Our prophet never went on boasting what he owned, boasting boasting about all the blessings he had, or the connection he had with Allah, and he never made anybody feel sad just because he had that bond and nobody else did. When we really understand who Allah is, we really think about all these things, the things that we say in our normal day-to-day life. Like there are so many and so many protests that go on for especially for women body. They say my soul, my body, my choice. It's my body, it's my choice. These are the slogans which we hear. These are the things that the media is directing us towards, and we really have to give it a thought. But what really is this body mine? This body is an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what we consider is good for us might be bad for us. What we might consider bad for our body might be good for us, especially when it comes to women's body. There are this normal, very normal quotes and slogans that we hear in the protest, that it's my body and it's my choice whether I want to carry a kid or not. I want to do this with my body or not. It's my body, my choice. I want to reveal it or not. This 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 is how your the social media, the marketers, the media, especially the media, is portraying, uh, putting this seed into our mind, which represent that we have this particular slogan, my body, my mind. It puts, sorry, my body, my choice. It puts that autonomy within us. We start believing that we have the power over our body, and we are the sole ownership of our body. Something that is completely yours, even that is not yours actually. Our body is an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, and this is usually used. These slogans are usually used for women, for the for abortion and to death, sexual consents, and against gender-based violence and all that. But really, do we really give it a thought? And when it only not just when it comes over here, it is also used more generally as blanket statements to reject anything that seems to be interference, even if it comes from form of spiritual advice around notions of modesty, around covering your body, about wearing hijab, about wearing abaya, or whatever it is. We are asked to protect our body, not because it belongs to us, but it belongs to someone else. This is Imagine if one of your close friend, maybe your sister, she brings one of her very expensive piece of jewelry to you as she's leaving the town for a few days. How are you going to take care of that?
Keep it safe.
Yes, you're going to keep it very safe. You wouldn't, you would give it more protection than your own jewelry, because that is an amana that you got. You would put it in a box and keep it very safely. And if even if the outer area, the box that they had given you, they had put it in, even if by mistake that box falls by with your hand, and even if the outer area of it gets a little bit damaged, you will be very worried because she's going to hold you accountable for what happened to that. You're worried of the outer box even though the inner part is fine. Then why don't we have the same amount of responsibility when it comes to our body? Because this is an amana from Allah. And your friend is just someone who's very small, very, 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 very small. It's just a creation of Allah. And when the creator asks you or holds you accountable, imagine what your situation would be. Are we on the same page, girls?
Yes.
Our bodies are ours in so much so that they have been given to us by Allah. But they are not completely ours to dispose as we wish, to eat as we wish, to laze around as we wish. We are going to be held accountable for the time we have, for the resources we have, for the body we have, for the food we eat, for everything, every little best blessings from Allah we are going to be held accountable for. And this applies both to the men and women, not just women. Allah has given our bodies as a trust. Allah has given us these bodies as a trust to us. This means that we do have a level of autonomy over our body. Yes, we do have a level of autonomy, but not beyond that. Not beyond that. And we must treat our bodies with with that, with respect, as they are gifts from the Most High. Like 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 someone has given you that precious thing, and you are holding it, and you are keeping it safe, just like you kept the piece of jewelry very safe. The same way, this also means that we should not be using our bodies in ways that displeases Allah. Would you use that piece of jewelry to do things that your sister might not be happy about?
No, we wouldn't
Why?
dare to.
You wouldn't dare to. Then how are we even thinking that we can use our and dispose our body, put our body in so much stress, and not give ourselves that attention, that love we deserve? Because we have a choice. We are also accountable, not to the people but Allah itself, because when we get back to him, it's going to ask us, what did you do with this body? How did you use it for the best? How did you use this body to please me, rather than how you displease me? Yeah, does that make sense?
Mhm.
So inshallah, let's put more light on how are we going to live with these names. How are we going to live with these names of Allah? First of all, take care of Allah's possessions. Take care of all your possessions, because all your possessions that are there with you are from Allah. These are the possessions gifted to you from Allah. And that is not just your body, and that is not just the monetary things, the money you have, or the jewelry you own, or the houses you have. Take care of your time, take care of your energy, take care and use your money to please Allah. Use your time to please Allah. Use your energy to please Allah. Use yourself to please Allah and nobody else. Nobody else. By giving money to the charity, or you give your money to the charity or the important causes, or take care of your body by not using it for what Allah has prohibited or what He hates. Take care of the earth. You are responsible for everything. You're responsible for your surroundings. You are responsible for the earth you live in. Plant more trees. Take care of, make sure what is the most little things that you can do. Maybe you can just like shut the refrigerator door once you have done once you're done, because refrigerators release chlorofluorocarbons, and that affects the atmosphere, right?
Mhm.
So that is the most small thing you can do, and you can do that for the sake of Allah.
True.
How wonderful is the affair of a believer. You just close the refrigerator so that chlorofluorocarbons are not released in the atmosphere, and you're keeping the earth you're just making this much effort to keep your environment better, and you'll be rewarded for that. It is so easy. Take care of your possessions, and don't use the possessions that you have got or you've been blessed with in order to make Allah in order to make displease Allah. Do things that will make Allah happy. Set your intentions like that, inshallah. And then and then the second thing is, nothing or everything is out of your reach. Nothing is out of your reach. So you know what? If you say I can't reach, if you say nothing is out of your reach, depending on how you seek it. When you want something, and when you go to the middle person to get that, usually what we do, we ask for jobs from people. We ask for money from people. Expect money from people. That my boss is going to give a bonus for me this time. That maybe someone else will help me. Everything is out of your reach if you're depending on someone else, and everything is under your reach if you're depending on how you seek it. Depending on how you seek it. What am I trying to tell you here is, when we seek possessions through the middleman, when we seek possessions to someone who's between you and Allah, then it is always going to disappoint you. But when you make the same du'as, when you have the same expectations from Allah, then everything you want is under your reach. Is anybody able to understand that, or do you want me to repeat it?
Sorry, I was just. So basically, what you're trying to say is, when you expect from Allah, He will give you sources.
Hmm.
You will be given or provided with. But if you expect from sources, who's gonna guide them to give it to you?
That means you will never end up getting that when you're leaving your
Mhm.
expectations to the middleman. When we seek
Yeah.
possessions through middlemen, they will always be out of reach. Your possessions will always be out of reach when you put hope in the middleman, because
Mm.
nothing is truly owned by people. Who do you think gave that middleman? Who do you think blessed that middleman?
Allah.
And how? Yes, of course. You're asking. Even if the middleman gives you the best, it is just change that he'll be giving you. It is just change. He'll just give you what is the leftover. But when you ask Allah, Allah is going to give you from His bounties. Even if you ask a billionaire is going to take care of all his needs, and then he's going to give you the change, the leftovers of whatever was there. But is this the same with Allah?
No.
Never. He's going to give you from his bounties, and his bounties are beyond our imaginations. And nothing is truly owned by people. When our mindset is when we have this mindset that if we start believing that the people are true owners, people are true owners of say like you go to a palace and you think, oh wow, how wonderful is this palace, and how blessed is the king. And you're thinking, and if you think that king owns the palace, that's where you're going wrong. Allah has blessed that to the king. Nobody owns anything, even if it is a piece of cloth. Even if it is a piece of cloth. So when our mindset is one that believes that people are true owners, we may demean ourselves or act in unjust ways in order to reach that which we seek. Instead, what we have to do? We have to seek things through the ultimate king by asking him and working in the ways that he approves. We don't need anybody's approval. We don't need anybody's approval to ask from Allah. We don't need any middleman to come take our pleas to Allah. All you need is a clean heart and just raise your du'as. How easy is our connection between us and Him? When you have to reach the king of a place, you'll have to you'll have to go through so many people to get there. Just the king of one particular country, say the king of UAE. But do you have to do all that to access to Allah, to get that access to Allah?
Allah is everywhere. So, just call him out
Yes.
or Salah, anything.
Okay, so do that, inshallah, and then remember that there is a judgment day. Remember that this always remember that even if someone possesses a lot of things, a lot of blessings, he or she has things in abundance, then remember that it is not just that the blessings are not because that person is close to Allah. It has nothing to do with his or her connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All that it has to do with is Allah has blessed him or her, and he or she is going to be held accountable on the day of judgment for all that blessings he or she had. And the blessings as small as your phone, as small as your cloth, as small as the water at your house, the blessing as small as these are the blessings that we have in day-to-day life, and we don't even open our eyes towards them. For every blessing that you've been blessed with, Allah is going to ask you for that on day of judgment. And always remember that anybody who's owning a lot of blessings and has things in abundance, they're not going to take all those to the final place, to the end of this world, to the day of judgment, to the next realm. All they carry, anybody is going to carry is what? Is their good deeds, is what they did for the sake of Allah and not for the people. So it's only our deeds that we'll be carrying. And then be free. Be free. Because Al-Ghazali defines kingship as being free and able to dispense with everything. What we think is kingship is about owning things, is about having control over things, is about having that autonomy that, yeah, this is mine, and that is kingship. But it is not. Kingship is not actually that. Kingship in this world entails to detaching yourself from all these things, from the passions of this world, which gives us the true kingship in the next, which gives us the true kingship in the next realm, inshallah. And many of us, what we do is we we hold our positions and we allow things and people take ownership upon us. We allow, we attach ourselves to people so much that even the thought of getting separated from them breaks us down. We attach to our possessions so much. Leave the people, the phone you have. You attach yourself to that phone so much so that even even if for some time you don't have it, you'll have a mini heart attack. You attach your value to you attach yourself to the Wi-Fi of the house so much that if the Wi-Fi or the internet connection is not there, you feel like you are in Mughal Azam. So try, learn to be free. Learn to be free. Realize that Allah is the true owner and He enables us to work to be free of being owned by the material things of this world by recognizing their temporary nature. Of course, everything we have is temporary. The phone you are owning is temporary. The the any blessing that you have in your life is temporary. So be grateful as long as you have that blessing on you. Be grateful because Allah is the one who's the owner of all the things. So how are we going to do that? I recognize that Allah is the true owner of everything. As well as, um, you have to, because even the human that you have in your life, be it your parents, be it your brothers and sisters, be it your own kids, be it your spouse, everything is temporary. We all come, we serve a purpose, and then we go. We all belong to Allah. So when you detach yourself from all these things, you enter that kingship, the kingship of being free rather than being attached. Stop making sense, girls.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. And then be patient with the loss. Be very patient with the loss, they say. And why am I telling you this? It's because Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there's this amazing story I just wanted to, this hadith I wanted to share over here. When Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's daughter lost her son, like her son was dying, her child was dying, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, verily, whatever Allah takes is for him, and whatever he gives is for him, and everything with him has a fixed term. So she should be patient and hope for the reward from Allah. Of course, the loss of child is the one of the most difficult pain one can go through in this world. It is very natural for us to feel that pain very deeply. But it is very important for us to know that the child we are crying for was from Allah, was from Allah, and it returned to Allah. And you might be a good might have been a good mom. You might have been a merciful mom, but Allah is the most merciful. If the kid is going back to Allah, he or she is going back to the most merciful creator. And as women, we at one point of life, most women go through this pain. Most women go through this pain. Just as everything, remember that just as everything, it gets back to Allah. We all get back to Allah, including our own souls. We will also get back to Allah, right? While of course this may not remove the pain of separation, this might not even console you what I'm telling right now, but it does mean that we can look forward to being reunited with the lost kid, with the lost child of yours. with whatever we have lost in our next life, inshallah, in the last realm, in the next realm. So it is just that understand that we don't own anything. We don't have power on anything. We don't have power over what Allah gives you or takes away from you. If something is there in your life, that is from Allah. And if something is not there in your life, it is from Allah. You can make du'as, of course. Of course, you can make du'as for that. But but crying about it, crying about it and feeling sad about this for a really long time is not going to help anybody. Yeah, does it make sense? Are we all on the same page?
Hmm.
What was your biggest takeaway so far?
Being free.
Being free. Okay.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. I have another one in the chat. Walaikum assalam. Oh yes, I think we will end up the session within another 10 minutes. So because we are just covering the leftovers of Al Malik and Al Malik Al Mulk, and you can surely catch up on the video on Facebook group, inshallah. Okay, perfect. So and then you know what? It's all about us getting back. When we get back there, we of course will get reunited with whatever we have lost. And when we channel that pain towards Allah and we say that Allah, that is for that was from you, and that went back to you, be it any kind of blessing. So inshallah, Allah's mercy is all encompassing. You know, sometimes we get so deep into such pains, the loss of our child or our, the early abortions of the kids. It happens. It happens sometimes generally. I have had one too, and I know how difficult that pain was when I went through that phase. But ultimately, what comes from Allah goes back to Allah, right? Allah recognizes our pain. Allah knows that, and it is not easy to come out of that pain very fast. But surely Allah recognizes that. Imagine you give something to someone. Imagine that you give amana to one of your friend. Like maybe I'm going out. Just hold this, just keep this precious piece of mine for some days. And when you take back that thing, when you get back to your place and you take back that thing, and your friend or anybody who you have given that to cries because you took it back, how would you feel? Go ahead, Sabra.
Yeah,
So I said, maybe one of your friend has given you the amana.
yeah, I heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll, it just makes so much more sense when you are like comparing it like this, because why should I cry over it? It always belonged to my friend, so I just gave it to my friend, and it was just given to me for a while to take care of it, to look after it. So yeah, I do understand, like, that when Allah, everything that we have, everything that we possess, even our bodies, all our possessions are an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's He who gives and He who takes it back. So we cannot, uh, yeah, we cannot not like feel sad or go through that suffering, but it's just that it was His and He took it back, and maybe He'll replace it with something much better, inshallah. And what we can do is have patience when something that we love is taken back,
Yes, inshallah. So how would you
inshallah.
feel if your friend starts attaching herself to that particular piece, and how would that make you feel?
Hmm. that'll make me feel like, okay, this was mine. Why is she holding on to it? It belongs to me, so I'm just taking it back.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah.
We would feel like, how? Why is she even doing this? It just is not hers in the first place. But see the mercy of Allah. Allah's mercy is so much so, even though we don't own anything, and still we have so much pain for our loss. In His all-encompassing mercy, He prepares us for, He prepares for those who are patient and forbearing what will replace that loss. Even though it was not ours in the first place, when Allah takes it back, He makes sure that He replaces that with something better. Imagine you taking back that piece of jewelry, and just because your friend was crying over it, you make sure that you get a better piece of jewelry and give it to her. That is the amount of mercy Allah has in His heart. That is the amount of love Allah has for us. And not in this just world, we get something better in this world and akhirah also, for the patience that we have shown. Alhamdulillah. And now, since you have understood this example, I'm going to end our session with the last story that I'm going to be sharing with you. And this is a story of one of the companions, Urwa ibn al-Zubair. So this companion of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, ibn al-Zubair, had to have his leg amputated, had to have his leg cut because of some infection, and something was wrong with him. And while he was being visited by a friend because he was sick, and because he just had amputation, and he was at the, of course, at the doctor's, one of his friend came to visit him. So he said, the when the friend came to visit him, Urwa ibn al-Zubair said, "If you have come here to give me condolence for the loss of my leg, please don't. Please don't give me condolence for that lost leg, because I have already given it for the sake of Allah. I have already submitted to Allah with patience, and I have already said Allah to reward me for its loss, for my loss. Whatever, even if I have lost the limb, I have given it to Allah. I have surrendered it to Allah completely." But as he was telling this, he didn't knew that the other person was there, not to give the condolence over his lost limb. He was there to tell him that one of his one of his son one of his son met an accident, and he was no more. And what do you think did he answer? Can anybody unmute and tell me?
I'm not very sure, but I've heard this hadith. He still thanked Allah and expected something better in return.
Yes, yes, that is the one that you're talking about. You know what he did? He said, "Oh Allah, you took one limb from me, you took one leg from me, and still you kept me healthy. And still you took one organ from my body, and you left all the organs in my body, and I'm still healthy. I'm still in a good state. And you took one son from me, and you left all my other sons to me." This is what he said. "You tested me with my body, and you were kind, very kind to leave me with good health. And you tested me with the loss of my son, but you were very kind in leaving me the rest of my children. Thank you for being so merciful to me." You know why he said that? Because he understood that everything is ultimately Allah's. The hands you have, the mouth you have, the tongue you have, The clothes you wear, the kids you have, the spouse you have, the parents, the spouse, the family, the house, all the blessings, all these things that we receive in abundance, everything belongs to Allah. And nothing is yours in the first place. And this is what he had to say. Because he understood that everything is ultimately Allah's, and he focused on that with which Allah has blessed him. Rather than that, rather than focusing on the loss, he focused on what he has been blessed with. What did Allah leave for him? What did Allah leave for him to be with him? What did Allah bless him with? And what do we do in our normal day-to-day life? We focus on all the negatives. We focus on everything that is going bad. Even though we have been blessed in abundance, our focus always goes on one little cockroach in the corner of the room. Yes or no? I want it to be an interactive session. Please unmute it or just leave your thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely.
We have been blessed with so much, and yet we focus on things like this.
It's like we are to train our mind to.
Sabira, your voice is very low. Can you please?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm saying it's like, we are supposed to train our mind to see the blessings and be grateful for the blessings rather than to look for things that we don't have or things that we have lost. It's like being grateful rather than being remorseful or regretful of something.
Yes, because everything belongs to Allah. And if he's giving is taking one possession, one of your possession, he's leaving you with so many. So how would you change your narrative if you maybe say you broke your phone and it's still working? How are you going to thank Allah for that?
Uh, we're going to thank when you can thank by saying, at least I have my phone. So at least you have what you can see the positive, that you have your data, you have your contacts, at least you can get it transferred. At least it's not lost. It's, you know, like that. So what always think about what worse would have happened and did not happen.
Okay, that's a good takeaway. And what will happen the next time you and your spouse had a very bad disagreement?
Uh, Disagreement. That even when we disagree, so there are things that we get to learn. We learn to resolve our disagreements, come to common terms. So there is always an opportunity to build the relationship. Maybe that disagreement was for a better understanding, so that
Go ahead.
you so that you mm, talk it out or understand. And the more, I think, we cannot live like without disagreements with anybody. We can't be the same. We can't expect the other people to have the same mindset like ours. So we will disagree on almost majority of the things. So what we are supposed to do or expect is that how to resolve those disagreements and come to a mutual common understanding. So in anything that comes our way, there is always something for us to learn in it.
Mhm. So you're going to thank Allah that Allah, you made us disagree on one thing. We had a disagreement on one thing, and
But
yet
we agree on, yeah, but
lot of yeah,
lot of things.
alhamdulillah for that.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, and this doesn't mean that we cannot be sad, and just because we are focusing on the positive things, this doesn't mean we cannot be sad. That is wrong, or that it is wrong, or feel that you feel spiritually inferior when you are, when you're not focusing on the blessings, and you feel that pain, or due to loss or something. This is part of being human. Of course, we are going to feel the pain, but here, what we have to fixate on is our understanding of Allah and the nature of this world. Because nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. This world is not permanent. What we have is not permanent. What we look at is not permanent. So it is just by coming to an understanding that nothing in this world is permanent, and understanding the nature of Allah and the nature of this world should mean that this pain can push us towards Allah rather than away from Him. When we have difficulties in our day-to-day life, we tend to move away from Allah. We tend to move away from Him. We get disappointed in Him. We feel like, Allah, you're not being merciful enough. Allah, you're not listening to me. You're not making my life easy. The whole point of this thing of focusing on better things is not because you will feel spiritually inferior or something like that. It's because we have, even though when we have things in our life, even when our days are difficult, let that difficulty not take us away from Allah, rather towards Allah. Inshallah. Okay, so can anyone unmute and share today's takeaway? Atia, Sabira, Sabiha.
Yeah, though I attended only little, whatever I could take away was that everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever our possessions are an amana from Him, and we should have sabr over whatever is taken away, and always be grateful for what remains with us.
Mhm. And how are you going to implement these learnings in your normal life, in your life today or in this week?
If anything doesn't go the way that like you want it, so it's like you always see Allah's mercy in it, or you see that whatever this decision came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just have patience, develop more of patience to whatever loss happens, whatever if something doesn't go your way during that. That is all I'm going to do.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you for sharing your takeaway. And Atia, would you like to go ahead and share yours?
I mean, there's not just one thing which I've really come across today. First is, how we, are very quick to look at the loss, to look at the flaws. So I personally feel, there is a requirement for change of perspective. Because when we look at the loss, and mostly it's like we are focusing on it. So the more you focus on something like that, the more you are into it. And also how, detaching yourself from your belongings actually makes you the owner of it. Rather than, how do I say, showing off the ownership for all of those things. And we cannot, because it's from Allah and we are accountable and answerable to Him for all of those. So all this is like somewhere linking to something huge, at least for me, because I'm mostly talking personally today.
No, this is really, like, yeah, it's like, you know, like you said, when we let go of the attachment, so we become the owners of uh, everything, like what we have lost. It's like that. So yes, that is very true, that when we let go of attachments is when we find the power over it.
That is something we discussed in the earlier in today's sessions, Abida. If you can get back and maybe look at catch up on the video, inshallah.
Yeah, sure, sure, I will.
So, is there anybody else who would like to share the takeaway? Okay. So, inshallah, we'll be wrapping our session today. I hope it was beneficial, and I really thank you all for joining this session because I know it is very difficult for every one of us. We all have busy schedules, and yet, if you are removing this time, may Allah put barakah in this time, and may Allah guide us all in the right direction and towards him, not away from him, inshallah. And if there's anybody else you think can benefit from these sessions, please go ahead and share these with them or tell them to join them every Wednesday, inshallah. Thank you. And we will be reflecting on Al Razak next week. And this is so amazing. I'm really excited to get to the next name. Inshallah, I'm looking forward to see you all next Wednesday. Take care. Fi amanallah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Tabarakasmuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayruka. Fi amanallah.
Fi aman Allah.